Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 VC review. Today I'm going to be having a look at Golden Axe on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis if you're in the States. It's a similar game to Streets of Rage, side-scrolling hack and slashy beat 'em up type thing. Way to play co-op, I'll begin it now. On this screen you have to have player 2 push start. Unfortunately it took us a while to figure that out, so I kept pushing start as player 1, just trying to skip it, and it was a nightmare. Standard stuff, you've got the options to change obviously your health and stuff like that, and sound test. You've got the duel, which is a bit like a survival mode where you have to fight a lot of enemies, beginner mode where you get half of the game, and arcade mode, which is the main game. Obviously you get all the levels. Three characters to play as. Each have different magic skills. Tyrus Flare, the woman, has the most powerful magic. Gilius Thunderhead, the dwarf, has the least powerful magic, and Axe Battler is a bit in between. However, what magic skills Gilius lacks, he makes up for in, well, strength of his weapon and also the mighty headbutt. I'm a huge fan of the headbutt. People keep trying to tell me it's a shoulder charge, but you hit people with your horns first, so I say it's a headbutt. That's some of the magic. You can level up different ways. There's basically you collect different portions, and there's all sorts of different levels of your magic. As you can see, Gilius in the top left corner, there are 3 stages to my magic, whereas Tyrus has up to 6, I believe. It might be 7. I always forget with Tyrus because she's got that damn many. It's 6. Thank you, Panda. He plays as a hell of a lot more than me, so he'd know. As you can see, standard game like Streets of Rage, whole point is to just kill your opponents. There's jumping attacks, there's running attacks, there's running jumping attacks, there's all sorts of different things to do. So quite a bit of variety in your attacks. You can also push both buttons together and do a little whatever it is. Mine's a little roll back and forth. It makes it kind of look as if I'm trying to disco dance or something. There's also animals to collect, well, to ride. This here is a bird with a giant spiked tail type thing where you knock the enemies around with that. You can also get on dragons that breathe fire and dragons that, well, breathe fireballs. So pretty cool with them. 2 different types of the dragons, the birds, all pretty cool, all have running attacks and the likes, so something that you want to look out for. Just like Streets of Rage, at the end of every stage you will fight kind of like a boss section, although unfortunately none of the enemy's energies ever appear on this game, so it is pretty much just sit back and wait and hope really that you've nearly killed them, especially if you're running out of energy. As well as these little dwarf things that kick out magic, there are green ones that kick out health, although they are very rare. So you really want to be careful on this because you don't get a huge amount of lives. It's quite a hard game at first, especially when you end up hitting each other. As you saw earlier, Panda knocked me off the bird, and I can do the same with him, kicking him with the tail. And to be fair, sometimes I do the same to him just to annoy him. Brotherly love. Music on the game I think is fantastic, so I'm going to shut up for a little bit. Graphic wise, the graphics are canny, but the arcade version was a lot better. Just to clarify, this isn't the arcade version. It's actually got a lot of differences to the arcade version, notably being the best thing is the fact that the game's longer. You get a couple extra stages that you wouldn't get in the arcade mode, and even a new boss. The boss is a hell of a lot harder than the old boss, so it is something pretty good. If you think, well, I've beat the arcade game a load of times before, what's the point? It is still worth a run through just to see the extra level, especially if you're a fan. And at the end of every stage you get a section like this where dwarf guy comes along, steals your magic, and then you have to beat him and his friends up. Sometimes there are friends, obviously here he's just on his own, and you have to beat him up to fill your magic back up. You don't get full magic for both characters, but as you can see you do get quite a bit. At the end of every one of them sections you get a little bit of story here, but it's not really that intriguing or anything, so I usually just skip it. There's also sections coming up soon where you will be able to fall off the edge, and just showing you here, well, I was going to run off anyway. You will lose a life every time you do that, so there you go. A couple of times now, lost 2 lives, so you want to avoid holes and the likes. Although you can knock enemies off, so if you're fighting a very hard enemy, something like a skeleton later on in the game, you want to try and knock them off the hole rather than trying to fight them, because they can be quite evil. Here we go, here's the first dragon. This is the fire breathing dragon, the blue one. As I say, there is a pink one later on, and he will allow you to spit fireballs, so it depends on what you want. Personally, my favourite is the blue dragon, because when I can eventually get this woman off it, and to be honest, I'm that sick, have a full level magic. Oh yes. As you can see, even compared to Tyrus's level 1 magic, mine looks pretty pants. But there we go, we have the dragon, and you can just stand there all day breathing fire, so that's pretty cool. The animals will run away if you get knocked off too many times. Unfortunately, they seem to get a bit scared and they just run away. Usually, sometimes it'll be 3 times if you have to get knocked off the steed, sometimes 4. It just depends really how many times people are on and off it. So, you have to be wary about them.
My dragon's better than your dragon.
No, the pink dragon is not better. However, this dragon...
My dragon's better than your dragon.
Yeah, that is the most powerful magic attack on the game, although it still doesn't kill all the enemies. And here we go, here's the pink dragon, if Tyrus would just like to get that. There's one of them skeletons I was mentioning about earlier. They are quite evil. They'll be able to dodge your attacks quite well, and they're really powerful as well, and they take a lot of damage. So unfortunately the skeletons are possibly the hardest on the game. There we go. Just show off the fireballs a little bit if you can. There we go. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.